Well, hey everybody, we're out here on the porch right now, and I'm kind of bummed out I didn't get to go and check out this tree, but my wife's friends with a lady down the street here, and she's a little bit older. They're in their late 60s, and her husband planted a apple tree about 45 years ago, and it's an apple tree. She brought the fruit home. I've never seen an apple tree like it. It's almost white, and it's got like a real grainy texture to it. But they invited her over to come and get some squash. That, you know, they got too much squash and everything, and she's seen this apple tree. She's like, "Can I get some apples?" And the apple tree's huge, 45 years old. She couldn't get none of the ones way up in the tree, but she got some of the ones that were down on the ground that were ripe, and some are overripe, and some are rotten. But either way, I'm going to keep a bunch of seeds from these and replant these. And a lot of people are going to be, you know, I've had a lot of discussions with people about planting fruit trees from seed, and a lot of people say that fruit, if you grow an apple from seed, it won't produce fruit, or even an orange, it won't produce fruit and everything. I'm not going to get into that really too much right now. You know, a tree is going to produce fruit regardless. You know, how it was pollinated. Like I said, I don't want to get into that, but there is no other tree around this apple other than just this apple tree. It's all by itself. So it's a self-fertile variety of apples. And one way you can tell that is when you cut in there, instead of finding 6 or 7 seeds per apple, you only get maybe 1 or 2 or maybe even 3, because it's enough to fertilize it and produce fruit, but not really produce a lot of seeds when they're self-fertile. And there are self-fertile varieties of apples out there, so you don't need 2 to pollinate each other. When you have to plant 2 apple trees just to get fruit, you know, pray that something doesn't happen to one of those trees, because then you got a 30-year-old fruit tree with nothing to pollinate it. Ooh, here's the little babies. We got 3 new little baby chickens right there. Yeah. But this is it. This is the apple, and I just cut this one right here, and it's not really that bad. It's still pretty good. Look how white it is, and I mean, it's like, I don't know how else, it's just real grainy. It's a great baking apple, or even cider. But if you wanted to buy apples to plant an orchard, or you know, to plant fruit trees, you might be lucky to get about 100 varieties of apples that you could be able to find. You might not get them all from the same nursery, but you could just about get about a little over 100 varieties of apples to choose from. 100 years ago, in the 1920s, 30s, there's catalogs that show 1,000 varieties of apples. All these different names. People planted a bunch of different apple trees from seeds, and out of, you know, 100 apple trees, or even let's just say 10 or 15, you've got one dynamite one, and they would name it after themselves. You know, the Jonathan apple, the Wolf River apple, even the Yellow Delicious is a variety of apple that they found grown wild up in West Virginia, from what I remember. I mean, don't quote me on it, but from what I remember, it's a seed-grown apple from West Virginia. So I'm going to grow a bunch of these little guys. I'm going to plant them all over the place, give some to some friends, and if there was a crabapple right next to this tree, I might not necessarily be all excited about planting them as much as I am right now, because I know that the only thing that pollinated this fruit was itself, so I'm more likely to get big, large, sweet fruit versus like an apple crossed with a little miniature crabapple, and you get miniature apples, you know. So, but this is cool. I'm actually going to go back and try to get some cuttings off the tree and try to root them, and maybe even, I've got a big crabapple right here. I hate grafting. I think another thing I don't want to get into. Don't want to get into grafting. But a useless crabapple that really only works as shade for the chickens down there. I might take some of these side branches and graft a couple of these antique apples I find all around me on these old farms and everything. And maybe be able to get a couple branches on these lower ones down here that I was kind of planning on kind of getting rid of anyways, because they're falling over. But yeah, maybe have some antique apples growing on that crabapple. I don't know. It's exciting to do it though. You know.
I want to see a video.
You want to be in the video?
Yeah. Okay. I got them with full water, and there's a hole in there, and the water can't get out of it. So we got 4 tomatoes growing, and I got a new game, and I got block number 2, and I beat all those games.
Good job, dude.
And we grow apples and we eat them.
We grow apples and we eat them. Well, hopefully we can get them to grow.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, just stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted in future videos how all the little antique apples. And if anybody knows what variety this is, or have had this, you know, when you were a kid, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, go ahead and leave me down in the comments section some of the ideas that you think it might be, and maybe I can find out what variety of apple tree this is and put a name on it. But y'all take care and stay tuned for the next one.